I brought my manifesto. So one thing I've worked on, and I did this before we came in. So before the bracket was even announced, I was sitting in my hotel today, jotting down what I will and will not do, no matter what, under any circumstances. I have my teams I am out on, because this happens too. When the bracket comes out, I just get so like intoxicated by certain matchups and storylines, and like, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if this team and this team met, and suddenly I throw all logic out the window, and now I'm like rooting for something. So what I did was, and I thought this was smart, before the bracket even came out, I wrote like a reminder to myself: do not bet on these teams.
Okay.
Count them out. Count these teams in, no matter who they're playing, and that's what I have. So that's where we're at right now. That's how I'm starting. I can rip through the rules as we go, I guess, but I'll do them right now. I'll just do them right now. Can I do them right now?
Absolutely. Your show.
It is my show. Yeah. I'll do them right now. All right. So here's what I wrote down. Here's my out. This is what I'm out on. I'm out on all Mountain West teams. The Mountain West.
The committee loves the Mountain West this year.
Yeah, obviously, put Nevada in. The Mountain West as an entire conference in the history of this conference, which started in 1999, 4 occasions the Mountain West has advanced to the Sweet 16. That's it. 4 occasions since 1999. Mm-hmm. That's not 4 years. It's not like they've never had it's not like that. It's 4 times. UNLV did it once. Nevada and Musselman did it once, and then San Diego State's done it twice. That's it. Those are the only Sweet 16 appearances for the conference. I'm out on the Mountain West. Last year, I thought David Roddy and Colorado State had the juice.
First game against Michigan.
They lose to Michigan.
Yeah. So
I'm not doing that again. I've made that mistake. I'm out. I'm Mountain West. You suck until proven otherwise. Number 2, Iowa. Last year, I rode hard for Iowa.
I had them in the Final Four.
I probably did too. If I can't remember.
They won the Big Ten tournament. Hot
That's
as
right.
ever.
They won the Big Ten tournament. I thought, I wasn't stupid to the fact, I wasn't blind to the fact that McCaffrey's never been to a Sweet 16. It was just like something in my brain was saying there's a first for everything. Maybe he gets over the hump now. Keegan Murray was awesome, and there was 2 of him. He had a twin brother that played exactly like him, and you're like, all right. And you're right. They won the Big Ten tournament. And you're like, I see the path. Not doing that again. Iowa, I'm out on you no matter who you're playing. We now know who you play, but I wrote this down before I saw the matchup. Tennessee is number 3 on my list. I wanted going into this season, I really, really, really wanted to believe in Tennessee. I thought this was the year that Rick Barnes might get over the hump. It still could be. It's not looking great with Ziegler out for the year. They still have a decent team, but I wrote Tennessee down as a reminder to myself, no matter what the bracket looks like, do not make Tennessee go your Sweet 16.
I'm with you on that one, because this team gets so much hype during the regular season.
Yes.
And they always lose it.
And they play great defense, but as I said on the show a few different times, it's not like I think I said this on part of my take. Like when you would watch Virginia defense, where Tony Bennett, when like the national title Virginia teams, but when Virginia was really good, the Malcolm Brogdon years, all that kind of thing. Virginia's defense made me want to like pause the television and just like you like break down the film and like get it cut up and send it to coaches and be like, are you seeing how well this team plays defense? Mm-hmm. I don't get that feeling with Tennessee. They like almost accidentally play good defense. They're just like really physical. I don't know. So their brand of defense doesn't work for me. I don't get excited watching them play defense. They're out. Jake, close your ears. You're not going to like number 4 on the list. Vermont was on my list.
How is a 15 seed on your out list?
Because I didn't know they were going to be a 15 seed.
Oh, no, they were going to be 15.
All right, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just thought whatever Vermont is, and the reason I wrote them down is because I knew you were coming on the show. I knew you were going to sit in that chair and try to sell me on Vermont.
Obviously.
I've been sold on Vermont 1,000 times. Since 2005, TJ Sorrentine hits 1 shot, and now all of a sudden, every time I see Vermont in a bracket, I'm like, remember that shot? And I move Vermont along. They have not won a game since then. I think they won one of the playing games one time.
They won in 2010 a playing game.
As a 16 seed.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like the last year they did give Arkansas a good game. I'm not being a Vermont hater.
They'll never get blown out.
I'm not being a Vermont hater, Jake. It's just I've gotten to the point where I can't do this to myself again. I just can't. Insanity is repeating the same thing over and over, right?
That's okay. So I guess only one of us in this room will have them beating Market.
All right. It will not be me. Similarly, the other 15 seed that I'm sick of trying to talk myself into is Colgate. I put them on the list. They have never in the history of their program won an NCAA tournament game. This is their 4th tournament in a row. Every time I see Colgate, I look at are they the best shooting team in the country? I think the best 3-point shooting team or one of it. Like whatever, all the metrics are nuts. With like they don't turn the ball over. They have a ton of seniors. They make their free throws. They shoot a bunch of threes and make a bunch of and all of it. Like you start to get intoxicated and you're like, all right, could Colgate do this? They're a 15 seed, right? this year?
They're playing Texas.
Okay, that helps. That helps. But like if I was worried that I was going to come in here and Colgate was going to be like a 14 playing a 3 seed I don't love, and I was going to talk myself into it. So I wrote them down. Do not do it with Colgate. Number 6 on the list is on the teams I'm out on, Kentucky, because they like Kentucky. There was a world a week and a half ago where I think I could have talked myself into Kentucky winning a national championship. I think I could have done what I did last year, where I was like, they're finally putting all the talent together. John Calipari finally realized that Cason Wallace needs the ball in his hands at all times. He's finally realized that like Oscar is not the best player in the country. He just has like a high motor. So like stop putting him in positions to like carry this team and just put him in a position to hustle, you know? They were starting to put it together, but they lost their first game of the conference tournament, which you'll like this stat, Jake. No team has ever lost their first game in the conference tournament and gone on to win the national championship.
Ooh.
That's a Mike Rutherford special. He loves that stat. So Kentucky's not winning a national championship. Also, they have not won an NCAA tournament game since 2019. So as much as I want to talk myself into Kentucky going on a run, I might have them beat Providence.
Counterpoint, they're going to be very, very hungry after what happened last year.
I know. I might have them win one game, but I can't make Kentucky go far. So if I have Kentucky going far, please stop me. Please stop me. And then lastly on my out list, I have coaches with too much energy. I have a theory, and we were at the game. We weren't at this game together. You took a video of it. We went to the Big East tournament though.
But I was at the crazy coach versus crazy coach.
Crazy coach versus crazy coach. And I saw your video of Dan Hurley and Shaka Smart on the sideline, and I thought to myself, neither one of these guys. Shaka's been to one Sweet 16, and I'm not being a hater. I'm
and
just
a
being
Final Four.
Same year. I'm not being a hater. I'm being a man who deals in facts. This man has been to one Sweet 16 in his entire career. Dan Hurley has never been to a Sweet 16. And I said to myself, there's something about like being like I get it. I get it from the standpoint like if that's your coach, if you're a fan of one of these programs and your coach has that much energy, you love it. You freaking love it. He's getting the guys hyped. He's getting them going, all that sort of thing. But I started thinking about it, and I was like, none of these national champion coaches are crazy like that, and the obvious corollary would be Bob Knight, is what someone would say. But I don't think Bob Knight was like wired. Bob Knight was never like clapping and getting in a defensive stance and like getting the crowd going and all that kind of thing. Bob Knight was like pretty stoic until he wasn't, and then when he like got mad, he would try to strangle his player or like punch a ref. But I find that like the guys I'm talking about are the guys that are like losing their minds from start to finish.
There's a handful in this field.
Yes, so I wrote them down. We have Marquette with Shaka Smart.
Yes.
We have UConn with Dan Hurley, as we said. Arkansas with Eric Musselman.
You think he's crazy?
I love Muss. I do. I think he fits into the too much energy. I think there might be too much energy. I know, but I can't pick a crazy coach to win a national championship. It'll make sense here in a second. Northwestern's off the list. Chris Collins, famous picture of him getting down on all fours and slapping the floor, and like he's a maniac. Brad Underwood at Illinois. Fran McCaffrey at Iowa. I also threw in there sweaty coaches count as too crazy because like you're sweating too much. That's a bad sign. So Sean Miller, Buzz Williams, Bruce Pearl. And here's where the question marks start coming in, Jake. John Calipari, I think, in recent years has become sweatier than he was in 2012, and I'm starting to wonder, is the sweating keeping him from getting back to a national championship caliber coach? Is that the problem?
It could be.
Because like if you think back to then, he wasn't sweating as much. That's something to consider. Finally, I wrote down UCLA with 3 question marks because I can't figure out if Mick Cronin, like it feels like he's gotten a little less crazy than he was at Cincinnati, but he's still got a little craziness. And his father apparently tried to fight Arizona fans. Did you see this?
Hep?
Yeah.
Hep, the guy who they cut to every single moment of every single game?
His like 80-year-old father got into a fight at the Pac-12 tournament with Arizona fans.
Hep's a legend.
Yeah, and the UCLA side of it was that Hep got attacked. The Arizona side of it was that Hep. I saw like someone trying to accuse Hep of like punching a 17-year-old kid. But point is, I don't know if Cronin is. That's a big question mark. I don't know how crazy he is at this point. And then the other one that's the big question mark that'll really become a problem as we fill out these brackets is Alabama. I don't know where Nate Oates stands on the crazy scale. Does he have too much energy? Do you, Jake? When you think of Nate Oates, do you think of a maniac on the sideline? His off-court stuff, forget that. Forget like how he handles press conferences. Forget all that. I'm talking about, because I think that this theory is born out of this, of like when you're in the NCAA tournament and
there's a longer leash.
The buttholes are getting tight.
Yeah.
And the players are like, fuck, we were up 12 and now we're up 2 and there's 2 minutes left and all that. You need a coach that's like, everybody breathe in, breathe out, relax. We got this. We're good. And I think like the manic energy can be bad. So I don't know if Nate Oates is that.
I have a memory of
think?
Nate Oates 2 years ago. I think it was the SEC championship game against Will Wade, who, by the way,
Will Wade, crazy.
He's back.
Crazy. He is back too. Yeah, he's back.
Yes.
He's at McNeese State.
But that championship game, I'm pretty sure Nate Oates won it, and he just like turned over to the LSU bench, and I think the lip reading was just "Get the F out of here."
That's right. He did.
You remember
do
that? So
yeah.
that would be considered crazy in my eyes.
Okay. I think this is the tournament we find out. I think if Nate Oates wins the national championship, he's definitively not crazy.
Yeah.
But
and Big Cat said it on the show. I don't know if you agree with him. I guess we'll get to the bracket. Like he says, Final Four, but like it would be really
Final
bad
Four bust,
based off their draw.
And then the teams I was in on, I wrote these down. No matter what the draw says, be in on them. Oral Roberts, they have the best turnover. They don't turn the ball over. They take and make a ton of threes. Max Asmus is an elite guard. Mm-hmm. Connor Vanover is enormous.
One of the tallest players.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, Oral Roberts, I'm having them advance no matter who they play. I said the same thing about Kent State because they are the ultimate muck it up team. They took Gonzaga. They gave Gonzaga a great game in non-conference. They gave Houston a great game in non-conference. They have the MAC Player of the Year in Sincere Carey. They have their backcourt is senior guards. And I love the MAC in the NCAA tournament. I always love the MAC. It feels like the MAC is never out. Like they always either win one game or they come really close to winning
Ohio
one game.
2 years ago with your guy Bowles.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wrote that down. And then the other two things I wrote down is Gonzaga to the Sweet 16 because they've been to 7 straight Sweet 16s. And I don't think that this is one of Mark Few's best teams. But I had to remind myself that they're playing really well and they're going to make the Sweet 16. We know that. Gonzaga to the Sweet 16 is a lock. And then I have Kansas to the Elite Eight because Bill Self, when he gets a 1 seed, he's been to the Elite Eight 7 out of 9 times.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that. I might steal that one.
7 out of 9 times. The 2 times he didn't. 2010, Ali Farouk Manesh goes bananas against Kansas. And then 2013 when Joel Embiid was hurt and they lost to Stanford in the second round. So there you go. Those are my rules I'm going by. Now let's fill this thing out.
Let's do it.